Welcome to the Art of Relationshiping. This webinar is going to help you go from lonely to understanding the signals you're sending out and how those signals can help you attract the right love in your life. So with that, I'd love to share my screen with you and let's get the show on the road, because this is all about relationshiping, because life is better with good love in it. And the dating rules of engagement have changed. So we are all here because I am here to share with you a little insight into how to attract, keep, and enjoy the right love in your life. And I know that we're here with purpose and reason. And I know the people who are attending this live are here because each of you have expressed that you want to be in a healthy relationship. I would encourage you to connect even in the chat box, not only with me, but with each other, because you've pre-selected yourselves to be here as legally available, emotionally available, financially available, and ready for the real love of your life, who you can share adventures with for the rest of your life. So go grab a pen and paper. And here's an opportunity where you could potentially change the rest of your life in some very simple steps that I'm going to share with you this evening to go from lonely to loved. Again, thank you for being here. I'm going to share some gifts with you at the end of this. So if you stay till the end, I'm very excited for you to be here, because I'm going to share with you how to go from this island of loneliness and fear that you may die alone, or anxiety and disappointment and just lack of understanding of how to present yourself in the world so that you don't seem like a tryhard, when actually what you want is to be in a healthy relationship. And if you're somehow getting the idea that it hasn't worked for you yet based on what you've been trying, you might be feeling like you're alone on this deserted island. And you're like, it's a great island and all, right? I'm right on the money is what I'm seeing in the chat. And it's like, I have built an amazing life for myself. And the only thing missing is I want to share it with someone. How is it that people on Facebook or on the beach are walking hand in hand through time and they feel like they got it going on and they're sharing their journey together and pillow talk? Oh, pillow talk. And whatever they're going through, they're sharing that experience with one another. The chat's burning up in agreement. And what I'd like to help you understand is, what is the secret? What's the sauce? What is it that those happy, loving, caring, sharing people have that you, although very professionally successful in your personal life, you haven't figured it out? And you're single for whatever reason, healing from a breakup, just dating, you've never found the right person. Maybe you're on the heels of a divorce, widowed, whatever it is, you're here for the right reason, to embrace the thrill of possibility so that you can share your journey of life together. And what's so interesting to me is that we send out these messages and then we get a reflection of something back that is out of alignment with who we really are. And we cannot understand, how can this be? Because what's happening, and it might be a blind spot for you, that the messages that you're sending are being read in a very different way than you're intending them. And your parents, your mom or your dad might read it and go, you're perfect, you're perfect. That's exactly what you want to say. Or your best friends might be like, you got it going on. How come you're not in a healthy relationship? Why aren't people seeing you the way that I can see you? And it may simply be your choice of words or the choice of body language, verbal and nonverbal communication may not be exactly the right way to send out the signal of what you would like to attract, keep, and enjoy in your life. So don't worry, I've got you covered, because this is one way to help you make one tiny change that's going to change everything in your life. So on a scale of 1 to 10, help me out in the chat. How confident are you that you know how to send out these messages and to attract the right person, and you know that you can trust yourself in intimate relationships, navigate obstacles, and keep them, and know that this person will have your best interest in mind and journey through time together? So I'm seeing things like, I'm a 2, I'm a 1, I'm a 3, I'm a 3, I'm a 5. Okay, so you've come to the right place. So rather than continuing to yearn for true love, let's learn how to attract the right person through match compatibility, recruitment, and managing expectations. The first step to this really is making sure that you are attracting the right person. So let's start one step at a time. And we can talk overall about how to elevate the dating skills that you've got. The initiation is difficult is what I'm reading. Know how and when to escalate the relationship, transform love blocks into love connections, building self-esteem and self-worth, and experiencing deep, healthy relationships without having to play games or be a mind reader. So being in the group this evening at any time working with me, I want to make sure that I've got an audience that's appropriate. So I'm just asking you to be 18 years up and know that we're going to share this information publicly. So I will be recording, and if you're invited in to be on the hot seat and I'm sharing something with you, make sure that you know that other people may be seeing this as well. I talk about finding the right person a lot like this P.D. Eastman book of Are You My Mother, where this little bird would go to all these different animals and go, are you my mother? Are you my mother? Are you my mother? But in this case, it's more like, are you my lover? Are you my lover? Are you my lover? And we're out in the dating world trying to find our right match. And there's different ways to go about doing this. And one of the things that I talk about with my clients is how to gain an understanding of if you are relationship ready. And of course, everyone thinks they're relationship ready. And you definitely want to attract someone who's relationship ready into your life. So how do you know if you are relationship ready? So I thought we would play a little game. And this is where a pencil or pen might come in handy. But for those of you who can just play it in your head, that's totally fine. But I'd like to know, and I'm going to give you some vignettes. If any of these emotions sound like you, then give yourself a point. Okay, so if you run into a relationship challenge where you feel like you do the right thing by taking care of everyone and everyone else first and everything first, and you prioritize other people over what's in your best interest for the long run, then give yourself a point. If your relationship challenge might be that I either protect my heart so much and I don't allow myself to get too close, give yourself a point. Or when you're in a relationship with someone, do you totally just give up all your power? You give up your identity, your schedule, your priorities, and somehow you find yourself that's leaving you at the mercy of your partner. So those would be two different reasons to give yourself a point. And if you're fearful of being alone, give yourself a point. Maybe you don't trust yourself to make the right choice in intimate relationships to create an enduring relationship or love that lasts. So those would be two reasons to give yourself 1 or 2 points. What about the relationship challenge when you're saying to yourself, I have trouble navigating obstacles in relationships? If it comes up that somehow you can get into a relationship, but when the going gets tough or you have to give a little, suddenly, if it's not perfect, they're done and they're out. Give yourself a point. How about this relationship challenge? I don't feel like I add enough value in this relationship. If you've ever felt like I'm not enough in a relationship, then give yourself a point. If you ever felt, am I worthy of love? Give yourself a point. If you're concerned about being hurt or used if you stay in the relationship, give yourself a point. And then also give yourself a point if you stayed in a relationship too long, just to keep some of the best bits of the relationship. And if you've ever felt like asking yourself, am I even lovable? Give yourself a point. So these are relationship challenges that I help people overcome. This one's interesting. I'm worried I'll lose my relationship if I don't push it through to commitment. These are people with misaligned expectations, and they're at different points in their relationship cycle, where in this example, he was ready to get married and she's like, well, I'm not ready to break up with you, but I wasn't necessarily ready to marry you either. And then that creates this misaligned expectation set in the relationship, thus resulting in a should I stay or should I go scenario. So give yourself a point if you've ever found yourself there. Or how about give yourself a point if you've ever felt like I don't have the power or control to be seen and heard with respect and admiration in my relationships. And it just feels like I'm invisible. The world's passing me by. Give yourself a point. This relationship challenge is we've grown apart, but we stay together for other reasons. Give yourself a point. How about this one? I overwork myself to provide for myself or my family. And I'm always right at work. So I tend to be a workaholic, or I pride myself at work. So I'm identifying with myself as an employee because I get the approval I need there, but I don't necessarily get that same approval at home. And what this might cause, give yourself a point, is I'm a workaholic. Give yourself a point. If you're overwhelmed sometimes, give yourself a point. If you feel burnt out, which could result in a physical scenario, give yourself a point. If you worry that no one will want to be with you as a result, give yourself a point. This relationship challenge is we've created a no-win, no way out situation, and we're at a standstill in this relationship. Something is going to explode. And this is the last one. So if you've ever found yourself in a relationship like that, there's any of these scenarios, if you don't figure out how to move through these challenges, you may find yourself repeating the patterns and finding yourself in relationships again and again that look and feel similar at this stopgap. So if that's the case, give yourself a point. Okay, add up your points. And what I'd like to do is in the chat, go ahead and tell me how many points you've got. If you've added up 1 to 4 points, let's help you rebuild your relationships. If you are at 4 to 8, pay attention. We probably need to talk. And if you're at 8 to 12 points, listen for what has gone wrong and what we can do to change that. And if you've got more points than that, you may be finding yourself in a risky or dangerous situation. Definitely reach out to somebody, if not me, and let's make sure that you are empowered to be in control of the relationships the way that you would like. So I'm seeing numbers 3s, 5s. I see an 8, a 7. Great. So I'm here for you. Let's take it from here. Because what I'd like to do by helping you here is know that you know how to trust yourself enough that fear will not jump in front of your success in any of your relationships, whether it's fear of missed opportunity, imposter syndrome, comparisonitis, analysis paralysis, perfectionism, disease to please, my givers, I love you, but realize you may be training people to take from you. So how do you adjust to that? And when you care about yourself as much as you care about what other people think, you could be changing your life because you're making the right decisions for you rather than changing your behavior of what based on what you think other people might be thinking. And we want to make sure that you can self-advocate with confidence. But don't just take it from me. I've got some clients who would like to share with you.
Hi, my name is Terry Roseman, and I've been working with Michelle Hoffman at relationshipping101.com for the last several weeks, and it has changed my relationship with myself and with the online dating process.
Very good.
Whatever type of relationship you are interested in working on, Michelle Hoffman is the person to reach out to help guide and coach you through the process. I've went from not wanting to have anything to do with online dating to having fun with online dating. And I invite you to have fun with your relationships as well by reaching out to Michelle Hoffman at relationshipping101.com.
So my favorite is that I get these, some of these are just unsolicited testimonials because my clients are so happy. And so they want to share that with other people. This client, with Michelle's guidance, I was able to clearly see the relationship I was in was the wrong fit for both of us. Michelle helped me understand what I really needed and wanted. It was through this, Michelle guided me to love myself enough to find my soulmate. When I found her, I knew immediately she is the one for me. And I knew how to show her I'm the one for her. Being married to the right person is the greatest way to enjoy life. And it was literally on the anniversary of our starting to work together was his marriage to the right person. And he says, we go through struggles hand in hand, knowing we have each other to build our life worth living. And I just love when my clients are having a good experience.
Hello, I would like to share with you the fact that Michelle Hoffman has amazing insight into people and into real life issues that affect us on a daily basis. And the advice that she gives cuts truly to the root cause of the issue. And it's amazing advice that could change your life.
Hey, one of my clients says, when you're failing chemistry, you hire a chemistry tutor. When you need help with your relationships, you hire Michelle Hoffman. There we go. Lydia, so, say the nicest things.
Michelle, I said earlier in the interview, so you already had it recorded, that you have been a shining light in my life since I met you. And I want you to know that I feel glowing expansion in my heart whenever I talk to you or think about you. You're amazing and incredible. Thank you so much for what you've done.
Thank you. It is my honor. What I want to point out is in some of these, I've actually put the confidence index increase of when we started working together to that point in our relationship. So that client increased her confidence in every aspect of her life by 153%. It's notable. Working with Michelle changed everything. I'm so confident, safe, and secure in my personal and professional relationships. I can relax and have fun being my authentic self, knowing I am adored as I am. That's the goal. So this client, 220% increase in confidence.
And I really had an awesome life, and I work hard to put a plan together and have a life I don't need a vacation from. Yet I still need some help in the relationship area, and going to Michelle for life worth living gave me that extra boost and set me on a better path, especially communicating with my husband and my children and being able to, foster those relationships and cultivate those relationships into something even more incredible and awesome. And I truly appreciate that. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you. So these are the kinds of things that I help clients in those, relationship challenges achieve their relationship dream come true. I'd like to share a little bit about me and how I got to this point. You may see some of these logos of organizations that I have made an impact in the relationships that they have within the organization, adjusting or establishing culture in the organization, and or up-leveling the relationships that they have with their clients. And I was definitely a professional, but I'll tell you, when I was a little girl, all I ever dreamed about when I blew out the candles on my birthday cake was to be in the healthy relationship with a partner who I could share my life experience with, and we together could create a dream come true. So it took a little longer than I thought it was going to, but I met this man and we got engaged. I got to call him my fiance, and we got married, and we built a home together, and we built a family together, and we built a life together, and it was perfect. It wasn't showy, but it was perfect for us until he died. Landscape scorched. I actually thought that this pain was so deep that I could never love again. I was suddenly thrust into becoming the head of household, sole parent, and you guessed it, single. I never saw it coming. And here I am. Well, I figured it out. And then I figured it out for my kids. And then a friend of mine went out for a run, had a heart attack, and died. And I thought, I don't know what to do. And then I realized, as you now realize, I do know what to do. So I went to his widow and said, this is never going to be okay. I'm going to walk this journey and help you figure this out as well. Let's project manage this thing. And then my community was sending me out, help them, help them. You've done such an incredible job. So I literally wrote the guide I did not have. And it became an international bestseller. Both of them did. One is professional relationshiping, Life Worth Living is personal relationshiping. And my publisher had me on the red carpets. I was in 12 countries. I had these events I was doing. I've got ebook, audiobook, paperbook, book signings, interviews. I never saw my life in this direction. But here I am helping people understand how to attract, keep, and enjoy the right love in their lives, be relationship ready, and enjoy the relationships they've always dreamed of enjoying. So here's me and my kids now. And here I was wishing for this clear direction in life, and everyone was coming to me saying, you're a relationship coach. So here I am. And the question that I have for you right now is, if I, as your relationship coach, could wave a magic wand and you were saying in your head, wouldn't it be awesome if, how would you finish that sentence to make your dream come true? Tell me, write it out in the chat, because what I hear typically is I want to be in a healthy partnership. I want to be with someone who I can go on adventures with. I want to be with someone so I don't die alone. I want to be with someone who I can laugh with and have fun with. I want to be with someone who I can build a family with. I want to be with someone who can help me make decisions, and that they would treat me and make decisions on my behalf that are in my best interest, the way I'd like them to be made. So, if I could wave a magic wand, what would be your dream come true? And how much longer will you wait? I would like to give you permission and give you the gift of taking up your pen and writing the chapters of your life story and your love story. Would you like to be in love now, or would you like to wait? And what will it take to go from the pain island of being alone and lonely to being in the partnership you've always dreamed of being in? So that's what we're here for. How do I find the right love for me? Things that were going through my head at this point were things like, I didn't want to do online dating. I couldn't afford a bad date. My family couldn't afford a bad date. It's exhausting, frustrating, boring, and disappointing. I'm too old, too fat, too set in my ways, too undesirable, too X, too Y, too Z. Can't the one for me just knock on my door and show up or be delivered? I want to be with someone that I can share my heart with for the rest of my life. That's what I'd like to help you with. This is a radical inspiration. There's all the right reasons to be in a healthy relationship, but the dating rules of engagement have changed. How do I date in the current world? And yes, online dating can be very frustrating and disappointing. Dating organically in the wild is how we used to do it. And now, how I see online dating, it's sort of like junior high, where we're allowed a chance to make mistakes and be who we're not and learn from our errors so that we can actually then show up and shine that light so someone can find us in the right way. To do that, you really need a crystal clear understanding of who you are right now. Because trying to find a relationship with who you thought might be interesting 5 years, 10 years, 20 years ago, you're going to be in the wrong relationship. So how do you go out in the world on your own with someone to hold your hand and make sure that you're okay? Here's the roadmap for this. Because this is how I describe it. When you know your relationship ready, and the notes in the chat are, I feel like I can't come across authentically digitally. We can help you do that. Because when you have crystal clear understanding of who you are and how to present and represent yourself, when you're diving into the dating pool, you want to make sure that not only can you swim, or at least have the floaties on, and know that you're relationship ready, and that you can identify the other people who are in the dating pool who are relationship ready, as opposed to someone who might look attractive, but who also might drag you down with them. So one of the questions I ask is, are you looking for someone to save you? If that's the case, then we need to adjust your profile to be clear about that. Are you looking for someone to co-create a relationship with? Can you identify what your core values are and what core values you would like to invite into your life? Because core values will be enduring in a relationship, whereas having things, activities, and events in common are fantastic. But in reality, all those things change. Core values remain a lot more stable. So in the chat, what I prefaced you a little bit earlier, what I'd like you to do is think about who did you used to be in your life? Were you a son? Were you a daughter? Were you a sister? Were you a brother? Whatever iteration of that. Were you a friend? Were you a student? Were you a math wizard? Were you interested in botany or biology? As a kid, did you enjoy playing team sports? Were you an athlete? What kinds of things did you enjoy doing as a kid? Were you an artist? So make a list of those things, and you're welcome to share them in the chat. And when you've got that clear in your mind, now take that list, and that list would repeat itself in some ways, but I'd like you to identify who you are now. You might still be a student. You might be an employee. You might be an employer. You might be a parent. You might be a girlfriend or a boyfriend or a spouse. You could be an ex from one of those things. You're probably still a friend. You could still be an artist, an athlete. What is it? Who are you now? What hobbies do you have? Make a very clear list of who are you now. And the next challenge is who would you like to step into becoming? Now, this is where things get all kind of magical, because when you have a clear understanding of who you are now, and it's different from who you used to be and who you are becoming, it's going to give you more clarity on who you would actually like to invite into your life, who would actually fit for a longer enduring relationship. So combine those two things, core values, with who you are now and who you'd like to become. Put that in your online profile. So now what I'd like to do is talk about how to send those signals out in an online profile. And the reason that I'm walking you through this has many layers to it. Here's the secret sauce. When you're looking for a job, the advice was to develop a resume, right? And you're like, okay, here's the stuff I did. Here's where I went to school. Here's where I focused my area of study. Here's where I stood out and I got awards and certifications. Here are my references. Here are my referrals. And you're building that understanding of yourself to maximize your success in your career trajectory. Building an online profile, you may not even need it if you're going to meet someone organically in the wild, but developing an understanding of your online profile is going to give you insight and wisdom so that when you walk in the room, you are representing who you authentically are, as opposed to saying, here's a sparkly object that I think you might be attracted to, even though it's not me. Because then there's misaligned expectations. When you go, oh, here's who I really am, then someone can fall in love with actual you and adore you for who you are. Now, the secret gift here for you is if you go to relationshiping101.com, you can download all of this so that you have it for your reference. And what I'd like to do is take a moment and walk you through this so that you have clear signals that you can send out in the online world and organically in person that will help you understand how to attract the right person to you. The first step to feeling desirable, attracting, keeping, and enjoying the right partner is, of course, to find the right partner. Here's your guide to building the best online dating profile, and carefully consider who and what you are looking for. So the first thing to do is describe your ideal match. Just so you know, just like when you were looking for the right job, the idea was, what types of organizations would you be comfortable in where you can shine and add the impact that would make a difference professionally? Now, overlay all of that, but put it into your personal life. What type of partnership would you like to be in where you can be your authentic self and you'll make a significant contribution and make a positive impact in the relationship? You can maintain your individuality and together you can be something more. So again, consider your highest priorities, then get specific. So I think I mentioned top 3 for me: legally, emotionally, and financially available. And when I look at people's online profiles, when they're asking me to help them with them, I'll give you an example. I have a client who travels quite a bit. She stays in the nicest hotels. She's in Michelin star restaurants, and she's quite the wine connoisseur. In fact, she thinks nothing of spending $450 on a bottle of wine on a Tuesday. Now, her online profile said, and it was accurate, I like to travel, eat good food, and drink wine. What type of travel do you want to do? Do you want to backpack through Europe? Do you want to stay in a yurt? Do you like to go camping? Do you want to just travel and see where the journey takes you and stay in motels and hotels along the road? Any of those things are fine because it's the way that you enjoy experiencing an adventure. Maybe you like to stay home and adventure in your backyard. But when she said, I like to travel, enjoy good food and wine, I asked, is this your third grade, what I did last summer essay? And so we adjusted it to say something along the lines of, when I look at a wine menu, I am transported to the vineyards of Bordeaux. Because then when she is going out on a date, she's going to find someone who is actually going to be interested in a really high quality bottle of wine, as opposed to being disappointed that she would like to spend $12 on a cocktail. So we want the match to match up, literally. How would you describe yourself and what you bring to a relationship? And I ask my clients things like, what do you want your date to know about you? And people look at me with open eyes and jaw dropped, like that never occurred to them. When you go into an interview for a job, you think about, what skills am I bringing to this opportunity? I'd like to invite you to do something similar when you're connecting in personal relationships. What would I like you to know about me? And reverse it. What do I think you would like to know about me? What would I like to know about you? And consider who you authentically are right now. Maybe you used to be something that you're not anymore. Maybe in high school you played football, but now you're not playing football. So you can say, I like to stay fit. I used to play football. I don't play anymore, but I still enjoy staying fit. So what we're going to do is we're going to start to understand who we are together. And this will change the dynamic from an interview process, which happens a lot when people get nervous and they just are like, here's what you need to know about me, figure it out and take what is the most important things and leave the rest behind. And they're like, okay, I don't need to interview you in a personal relationship opportunity to be a date. If you're feeling like that's happening, adjust the conversation to a shared experience and listen to what's going on around you, or say, hey, do you like this song? Go into your senses and change something to be in the moment, in the present, and actually share an experience together. And it will take the requirement of feeling obligated to share a resume in a personal relationshiping experience. How do you write a clever headline that's going to get the attention that you deserve? And again, you could say something like, living in Seattle, loving the song, I've got sunshine. How can you be my sunshine on a rainy day? Invite someone in to answer a question. One of my favorites is, what is something ordinary you have never done? Do you realize it's a double negative? If you're going to answer, I've never done anything ordinary, I go, we posed this question to Richard Branson. I would say, of extraordinary people, he also has ordinary life in his life. So, give the examples. Do you like to dress up? Do you like to be casual? Are you adventurous? Do you like to stay closer to home or do the same things? Are you family oriented? Would you prefer to be with your friends? If all of these things. So let's talk about you and what you're looking for. What activities do you like? What hobbies do you like? Are you interested in meeting someone who's divorced, widowed, never been married? So these aren't necessarily things that you have to put in your profile. They are things that are important for you to be prepared to discuss, though. Do you want to invite children into your life? Do you not want to invite new children into your life? What personality traits, characteristics, values, physical traits are you attracted to? Can you let those go and see what's underneath the surface to see that your values are in alignment? Or, for example, I have clients who will say, I only want a tall person. And when I got to the what is it about tall that you want, what my client asked for was safety and security. So when she then reevaluated her opportunities and the people who she was attracting, she found someone who gave her safety and security, but was not tall. So she had to really think it through. Did she really want tall, or did she really want safety and security? So you see how we adjusted that? What she thought she wanted was like, who really cares about that kind of demographic? But what she needed was safety and security. And she found a partner who makes her feel safe and secure. And that's the benefit of describing the type of partner you'd like to be introduced to. And in reality, see who they truly are, not just what's on the surface. All right, we're getting there. Relationship hangups or deal breakers. Again, this is for your internal use only. If somebody is separated, are you interested in seeing them? Or if they're legally available, are you interested in seeing them? I have an interesting deal breaker that was important to me because I like to be out on the water. I didn't want to be with someone who got seasick, because that meant that something that was so valuable and important to me would be something that they would not enjoy. So one of my hangups, it wasn't a deal breaker completely, but I really wanted to be with someone who enjoyed being on the water. So seasick certainly put them as a lower priority list. And number 10, create a wish list that contains all the traits and qualities that your ideal match would possess. Now, these are not deal breakers. Just put the things that you're looking for, because as you're enjoying the dating process, you're going to find out what the real deal breakers and hangups are. And it could be that you find the right person who doesn't have any of the things you thought you were looking for. But when you saw that the core values were in alignment, then you realize this person wants the same things out of life that I do. We actually enjoy one another. Let's go for it. There's the whole concept of love languages, words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, and physical touch. Knowing your priorities in that list is actually a good thing to bring up with someone. If you're still in chat mode, go for it. Ask them, what are your love languages? Which ones do you prefer? Because if you want to meet mind to mind first, and this other person really needs the confirmation that they need the physical affirmations, the physical touch, you may need to understand that to see if there's a match or not. Then what I invite people to do is come up with a dating mission statement. And this is really, what is your dating strategy? And what would you like to achieve as you go through the dating process? Again, while I was married, my late husband and I were like, oh, so glad we don't have to be dating. But the advice to people who were dating at the time was have fun. Go out and learn about people. And if what they do is they're chocolatiers, learn about chocolate. If they fly planes, go learn about flying planes or take a plane ride somewhere. If what they do is fascinating, learn about what's fascinating. Go and experience the whole chocolate box. Go and have fun. We want to be with someone who's fun. So go and take this opportunity to enjoy the dating process and learn about people and what makes them shine and tick and what's interesting to them. You might just get a new hobby yourself. Again, internally, defining the type of family you'd like to create together will give you a very clear understanding of the right kind of person you'd like to invite into your life. This is all based on where you're at in your relationshiping life cycle. And define your professional life, because although you don't have to offer your resume, understanding the time that you have to share with someone. So this goes back to quality time. Are you retired? Are you working full time? Do you work 7 days a week? Are we going to have to fit someone into a schedule? if you know the type of professional life you have and they have, then find an intersection to find out what you're passionate about and see how those things roll together. And that's a little bit about the things that you should consider when you're putting together a clear understanding of who you are in the world and how you'd like to attract the right person to you. So with that, I can go into attracting your ideal and photos that would set you apart. But that is going to be for another day, because that's the vibe that you're going to send out to others. So if you'd like to know more, go to relationshiping101.com, where you can download the essential tips to developing an online profile that really works. And if you'd like, my gift to you for being here is to schedule a one-on-one with me, and together we'll figure out your relationshiping challenge and how to find your dream come true.